In the worldwide war against crime, there are men and women trained to sink their own identity in the international underworld. They work alone, in danger and in shadow, unrecognized by friend and enemy alike. They are the operators of the almost legendary Ghost Squad.
Grey flannel trousers, threadbare, faded at the edges and patched. No identification marks. Shoes, black Oxford, soles and battered. Heels broken down, soles worn through. Vest. Ah, right. That's it then, sport. Good night.
Night.
Westy, I'd like to remind you, it's Saturday night. My wife's sitting at home waiting to get the pictures.
Yeah, we know who he is.
Good, so we can wrap it up here. Could have told you yesterday who he was.
Yeah?
He's a deadbeat who was knocked down and accidentally killed. No money in his pocket, holes in his shoes, and his clothes stink.
Well, you'll go far in the force, Danny.
Can I help if I'm naturally bright?
What about the plastic surgery scars the doctor noticed?
It's nothing to get excited about. Probably got shot up during the war. Look, my wife hates sitting at home Saturday nights.
Yeah, well, it's no longer our pigeons, so you'll make the main feature.
Is he coming?
Yeah, in a minute.
And by the way, was I right? A waterfront deadbeat?
Ah, you were wrong. There's prints are on file with Interpol. According to our information, a year ago, he was a millionaire.
Now, there's no doubt whatever about these fingerprints. The left-hand side was taken from the office of Frank Edward Hayes here in London after he absconded a year ago with over £100,000 in cash and securities. The right-hand side is the man killed accidentally by a car in Sydney. He was a complete derelict without family or friends.
You said there'd been some plastic surgery.
I'll show you the faces. Left Frank Hayes, right George Turner. One and the same man. Thank you, Miss Carter. Inspector Munro will take it from there.
Well, about 14 months ago, we started investigating the Hayes companies. Now, you know these fraud investigations, they take time. Word sometimes leaks out. Well, we were practically ready to swoop when Hayes cleared out, taking all the cash he could lay his hands on. He simply vanished.
Yes, I remember the headlines. A lot of small investors lost their shirts.
He was rumored to be in Rio, Tel Aviv, Mexico, Romania, all over the place. But we never picked up his trail again, and neither did anyone else.
Until he turned up a pauper on a mortuary table in Sydney.
There's no doubt the dead man is Hayes.
None, and the death was accidental.
We questioned Mrs. Hayes, who was left behind, and from all the evidence, her husband was a good family man, yet he left them penniless. He told her he was clearing out, but he promised there'd be regular amounts of money to keep her until she could join him.
She never heard from him again.
Have there been other cases?
Oh, lost 4 or 5 over the last couple of years. Men we were ready to pull in and question about their companies and activities. Now, each of them vanished with a good sum in cash, and none has ever been heard of since.
Do you think it's organized?
Oh, that's your job to find out. We think it is. We think there's a highly organized escape route and that these people are paying big prices for new identities.
Oh, it'd be a profitable venture.
Until recently, we imagined our fugitives were living in luxury, somewhere safe from extradition. But Hayes turned up in Australia, and he turned up a pauper. So that raises some new questions.
To lose over £100,000, that'd take some doing in 12 months.
So we're providing you with a cover story and the necessary money. Not, I might add, £100,000.
It might be rather nice on Bondi Beach at this time of the year.
Well, you won't have much time for that. If an escape route exists, we want documentary evidence on the people behind it. And the only way is to send a man down it step by step. In the process, you might find out how a wealthy fugitive becomes a waterfront derelict. You might even become one yourself.
To plant a cover story and create the identity of a financier on the run from his own ruin takes time and care. The fraud squad were able to supply such a background with a northern real estate company, and the details were fed into specialized financial papers. Meanwhile, I was supplied with a flat in central London and seen in some of the more expensive restaurants and nightclubs under my cover name of David Stamp. In a few short weeks, I was invited to certain select parties and mentioned in the gossip columns of some well-read newspapers.
Also at Henrietta's party last night was handsome David Stamp, former Manchester businessman who plans a spectacular takeover bid on the London property market shortly. Mr. Stamp, who was born in Canada, is tall, dark, and good-looking. Oh.
Yes, but it's the sort of guff we want. Oh, by the way, Mr. Stamp is waiting outside.
Well, ask the Deb's Delight to come in.
You can come in now, Nick.
How you can stand reading that you're tall, dark, and good-looking, and all this stuff about being rushed by elegant women.
I've got news for you. I like it.
Well, I've got news for you. The deity don't care for it overmuch. And what's more, you've got a wife and child in Manchester.
Thank you.
And not at all. Well?
I've met 2 of the men on the list of possibles the fraud squad gave us, but neither's made any move to contact me.
Well, now you're going to meet a third. His name is Elliot Chapman. He's a lawyer. You are going to become a temporary member of Reynolds Club.
Reynolds Club? Even you can't get me in there.
My dear boy, accept the fact that I can do anything.
Steady on, sir.
Try not to be too out of place there. For light reading, the members generally glance through the obituary column of the Times.
Good grief. Old Dandy Crookshanks dead. Did you know Dandy?
No, I didn't know.
Oh, grand chap. He used to belong to this club in the days when no one would have dared to bring their work into it. Like all the best things, those days appear to have passed.
Yes, I expect so. Excuse me, General.
May I?
Yes, by all... You're new, aren't you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Chap there. One of our old members. Grand chap.
Sorry.
Well, happens to all of us. Me sooner than you, I suppose. Nice to have you with us, young fella. I think I could do with a little sustenance.
Oh, hello. Is Mr. Chapman in the club?
Yes, sir?
Would you give him this, please?
Certainly, sir.
Oh, Denson. Just rang the bell. Get me a large brandy, would you?
Very good, sir. Mr. Stamp, I seem to have read about you somewhere.
Introducing business in the club is probably very bad form.
Yes, very. Have you been a member for long?
Not long.
And why do you suggest that I might be able to help you?
You're a lawyer. I need one.
How do you know I'm a lawyer?
I heard some of the other members talking about you.
Really?
They said you've got a couple of slippery customers off. I think those were the words.
Yes, I can never understand why I haven't been blackballed from this place. The old army types can't forgive me because I'm a working solicitor and a busy one. In fact, I'm rather busy just now, Mr. Stamp.
I've got a list of figures here. I wonder if you'd look at them, and could we meet again?
Real estate company? Oh, yes, of course. Now I remember.
Well, it's only a matter of time before the fraud squad starts investigating, and if you're prepared to help, I could give you the full story.
Never mind about the full story for the moment. There are ethics to be considered, Mr. Stamp.
Ethics?
Of my profession. Surely a man like yourself must have his own lawyer.
Well, yes, I have.
And what does he say about all this?
Well, he's washed his hands of the whole affair. As far as I'm concerned, I'm free to consult any other lawyer I choose.
I see. All right, how much is involved?
Well, when it's all sorted out, it'll be over £250,000.
You lost that much money trading? Come now, Mr. Stamp, I'm not a complete fool, you know.
Well, I have a small nest egg put by. It's money I've saved and earned.
It's money that belongs to your clients. The law calls that embezzlement.
Well, now, look here. If you're going to take that attitude...
Let's keep it calm, Mr. Stamp. No voice has been raised in anger within these walls for the past 50 years.
I'm sorry. Perhaps you can't help me after all.
Let me be the judge of that. But you'll have to be honest with me.
Well, what do you want to know?
How much have you saved from the mess?
80,000 in cash.
And how long do you think it'll be before the investigation starts?
It's only a matter of weeks, days, not long.
I can't do anything for you until you've been arrested, can I?
I thought you might have some ideas.
Ideas of what, Mr. Stamp?
Well, I don't want to sit around and wait to be nabbed by the law.
But you've got no choice, have you? Unless, of course, you abscond. And as your legal representative, I could hardly advise that, now could I?
Of course not, I'm sorry.
Besides, I'm not sure I can even take the case at all. However, if you care to give me your name and address, I'll think about it. Good. Well, good day, Mr. Stamp.
Miss Carter? Brandon Adams here. Your young man's been in. You can tell the chief he's made contact.
Hello.
Mr. Stamp,
Speaking.
my name is Julia Wilson. I may be able to help you, Mr. Stamp. I'm speaking from the restaurant across the street. Can you meet me here?
What are you talking about?
If you join me, I'll explain. Are you free now?
Well, if I am, how would I know you?
You won't. I'll know you. Please sit down.
Thank you.
Would you like to order?
I'm, not hungry.
I suggest you do order, if only for appearance's sake. I can recommend the way they do the scampi here.
That'll do.
2 scampi and a bottle of Orvieto, please. I hope you don't object to Italian wine.
What I want to know is how you got my telephone number and what it's all about.
Let's say I heard about you from a friend, and for a small sum, I can help you out of your current difficulties.
How?
You want to leave the country, I can get you out.
Who said I want to leave?
My information is that you've got to leave. Are you married?
Yes, I have a wife and child staying with her mother in the country.
That's convenient.
Don't get the idea I'd run out on them.
Oh, you wouldn't be running out on them. You could provide for them, and they could join you later.
Where?
That I can't reveal at the moment.
If I wanted to leave, what's to stop me from getting on a plane and going?
Nothing. And in time, the fraud squad will complete their inquiries. Messages would go out through Interpol, and you would be extradited back to face trial.
What's different about the proposition you're offering?
One small thing. You'd never be caught.
Spend the rest of my life in a country where I can't even speak the language?
Not the way we arrange things, Mr. Stamp. You'd go to an English-speaking country, that I can promise you.
Which one?
You'd learn that later.
Can you guarantee I won't be caught?
I can guarantee that no one ever has. Otherwise, we couldn't exist as an organization. Still, it was only a suggestion. Perhaps you should forget about it.
No,
Anyway, there's no need to rush into it. Think it over.
Would I travel under my own name?
No.
How much would it cost?
£5,000.
It's a lot of money.
Too much, perhaps.
Not if you can do what you say.
You'd have to trust us. At the same time, we'd have to trust you.
Why? You seem to know all about the mess I'm in.
We'd have to trust you not to do anything foolish, like contacting your wife or friends. Anything that might jeopardize your safety.
And if I agree to that?
And then you'd hear from us.
Soon.
Yes.
It must be soon.
We'll take care of it for you.
You know, I might enjoy dinner after all.
£5,000 in cash tomorrow. Is that too soon?
It'll be ready.
Here's your pleasant journey, Mr. Stamp.
Yeah. Yes. No! Just keep Craig under observation, but watch it. I don't want them to have any suspicions at all. And under no circumstances will you make contact with Craig. Right.
£7,000 to him without any bother, and the camera and the microfilm.
Good. I wish I could say the same for the rest of the money.
Trouble?
Well, you know those tight-fisted types at the Treasury. I managed to bludgeon another 7,000 out of them. It's been paid into Craig's bank account under the name of David Stamp.
But he's told them he's got 80,000 in cash.
I'm well aware of that, Carter. He'll have to shadowbox his way out of it, that's all.
Look around, Johnson.
What for?
We take precautions with everyone, Mr. Stamp. You needn't feel singled out. Well, Mr. Hathman, what do you think?
Well, it won't do, miss. It won't do at all.
What won't do?
What do you think, Mr. Hathman?
I think we shall find something for the gentleman.
Seems all right.
When you're ready, Johnson.
Now, sir, just try this, will you? Not quite what you've been used to, I'm afraid. Not what you've been used to at all. Still, that'd never do. Oh, dear me, no.
What's wrong with this suit? I paid a packet for it in Savile Row.
That is what's wrong with it.
Now, look
Now,
here.
you leave it to us, Mr. Stamp. We'll take care of everything for you.
Please? Now, there we are. How's that?
Well, it feels heavy and uncomfortable.
Well, it is heavy and uncomfortable. It's very unpleasant. I shouldn't care to wear it myself, I tell you. Shouldn't care to at all.
Hold it. No, don't look happy. Who looks happy in a passport photograph? That's it. Goggle-eyed astonishment. Perfect for a passport.
Will you need another one?
I'll take a couple just to be safe. You carry on with what you're doing, chummy. Don't mind me.
Now, there we are, miss. I think that does him proud. Nice and sloppy over the shoulders. Rather common. I think that's really very good indeed.
I'll need 2 suits, Mr. Hathman. Will the trousers fit?
Yes, I think so. They'll probably be a little on the baggy side, but, well, that's all to the good, isn't
You
it?
have the rest of the clothes.
Yes, miss, here.
Well, I don't wear suspenders.
You do now, sir.
Well, now, that's going too far. All right, the rest of the things if necessary, but I will not wear these.
Look, I assure you,
Perhaps
sir,
we can forget those, Mr. Hathman.
Yes, but
yes,
they're
I
in
know.
character,
You're a
miss.
perfectionist. All our people are. That's all. Thank you, Hathman. Johnson.
And, the gentleman's present clothes, miss?
I'll arrange for you to have them. I want the passport by tonight, Johnson.
Yes, miss.
Thank you, miss. Very good day to you, sir.
I'm sorry, but you're going to be a North Country tourist leaving tomorrow on a bus trip to Rome. You've got to look the part.
So that's it. I go through with the crowd of tourists.
Can you think of a better way to go?
Offhand, I can't. That's smart, Miss Wilson.
You'll have a new passport and a new name. The name is Williams. And this afternoon, you're to go to the Northwestern Bank in Haymarket and take a safety deposit box there. Put all your available cash into it.
Yes, but how can I do that unless I can identify myself?
Well, these are all the documents you'll need.
Well, that's more than smart.
You'll get your money's worth, Mr. Stamp. Which reminds me.
Oh. I've got it right here. £5,000. Would you like to count it with me?
I trust
Hey, yes, but can I trust you? How do I know you won't take the money and disappear? I mean, what could I do about it?
absolutely nothing.
Then I have no choice.
You had a choice, and you were clever enough to make the right one. We won't let you down, Mr. Stamp.
Now, what about this money I put in the Northwestern Bank? Who keeps the key?
Oh, you keep the key. Then when you're ready for it, the money's yours.
Forgive me for being suspicious.
You had a perfect right to be.
I think it was a lucky day for me when you came along.
Well, I'll be along tomorrow. You be packed and ready. 9 o'clock.
Miss Carter speaking? Oh, yes, just a minute, please. Rutledge, sir.
Stop. Yes. Yes, I see. Right, thank you. No, come off it now. I don't want to take any chances. Right. He tailed Craig to the Northwestern Bank where he took a deposit box in the name of Williams. He put in the £7,000. And somebody else was shadowing Craig just to make sure he did it.
Are you ready?
Almost.
I've got your passport. How much spending money have you?
Enough?
How much?
Oh, about 2,000 pounds in cash.
That should be enough. Here's your passport.
Well, it looks perfect.
It'll get you as far as you're going.
How far is that?
First stage Rome. You'll be contacted there.
All right, I'll just get my toothbrush and I'm ready. Oh, would it be possible to contact my wife?
No, but if you leave her address, we'll get in touch after you've gone.
Oh, well, she's staying with her mother, as I told you. It's in care of Mrs. Miller. 7 Porchway Gardens, Windsor.
Right, hurry. We haven't much time. Those windows shut. Check the other windows.
All right. Oh, it's all right. Everything's closed up.
Give me the key to the flat. Now, Hathman's coming to collect the clothes. Everything else will be left as it is. Now, get your things. Hurry, we're running late.
From Victoria Coach Station in London, the buses pull out at almost 1 a minute in the tourist season, taking sightseeing travelers to all parts of the continent of Europe. Probably the best way to leave the country without undue attention is in this package with 30 other avid tourists. 4 hours after leaving London, we were on the ferry bound for the French coast with the cliffs of Dover already out of sight.
Ah, good. Anything to drink, my dear?
Coffee, please.
2 coffees, please, Denton.
He's on his way.
Good.
We arrive in Rome on Friday. I've arranged for Carlo to meet him there.
Before the second stage. Well, I hope he enjoys his trip. As far as Rome.
Well, why do we come to a place like this? A second-class hotel.
You talk to my senor.
I'm paying for it. I'm entitled to know why the others go to a perfectly good 3-star hotel and I'm brought to this dump.
And you don't like it.
You catch on quick.
I own it.
Oh.
So shut up. You are no longer with the bus. It has been reported to them that you wish to leave the tour and stay in Rome.
I'm sorry. I'm hot and tired from the walk. I don't suppose you could run to a cold drink.
We have to wait.
A glass of water?
There is a cup.
Well, I'm not that thirsty. How long do I stay here?
Until we are ready for you to leave, senor.
Well, you're a fountain of information, aren't you?
Ah, buonasera, signorina Wilson.
Buonasera, Carlo. Is everything all right?
Yes, he is impatient.
Oh. Pleasant journey, Mr. Williams.
I didn't know you were coming to Rome.
It's only 2.5 hours by jet. Are you ready to move?
Out of here, anytime.
Get the clothing, Carlo. Oh, could I have your passport? Thank you. Here's your new one.
Australian. Is that where I'm going?
Not yet. You're an Australian national, a seaman called Grayson. In half an hour, we leave for Genoa. Tonight, you'll be on a boat for Singapore.
When you people get started, you move fast.
Now, about your wife.
Oh, have you contacted her?
Not yet, but we will. How much money do you want to send her?
Ooh, well.
I suggest 1,000. If you let me have it, I'll see she gets it.
Look, I'm worried about my wife. This is going to be a great shock to her. How do I know you'll send her the money?
You'll have to trust me, that's all. 1,000, don't you think?
I suppose so. It's already getting thinner.
Well, you have 70,000 in a deposit box. You'll get that at the end of the trip.
Of course.
She is entitled to something, you know.
You're quite right. I shouldn't dream of leaving her short.
Oh, how much Italian money have you?
About 30 pounds worth.
Give it to Carlo.
What for?
The room.
For this room?
Carlo takes risks. He's entitled to be paid. Now give it to him.
Thank you, signor. Is there anyone else I have to pay?
You should be grateful we're all taking so much trouble on your behalf. Give him the clothing, Carlo.
Must be some mistake.
Get dressed.
What the devil am I supposed to be doing aboard this boat?
You're working. You're a seaman by trade, and you're working as a deckhand all the way to Singapore.
Now, look here.
No, you look here, Mr. Stamp. You fleeced a lot of innocent lambs back in England. Now you're running from the law and 5 years in prison. So, for a price, we are going to save your worthless hide.
There must be a better way to do it.
Think for a moment, and you'll see what we've done already. David Stamp has disappeared in London. They can't connect him with a tourist called Williams, but if they do, Williams has disappeared in Rome. And no one in the world is going to link the man you started out as with a deckhand on a freighter going to Singapore.
I suppose you're right.
Well, we've done it enough times to know we're right.
Well, look, now all I want to do is get someplace safe, send for my wife, and collect my money.
You'll have all that at the end of the trip, if you do what you're told.
Yes, of course. But what about the money in London under the name of Williams? To claim that, I'll need my passport.
You'll get it back. We can't steal the money. You have the key.
You don't think we let you go aboard the freighter with 2 passports, do you? That will be very foolish, senor.
Well, I never thought of that.
You leave the thinking to us. Now get changed. There's a car downstairs to take us to Genoa. When you're ready, we're leaving. Oh, if you're modest, I'll wait outside.
Thank you.
That's a nice job. It's too good for a forgery. I'd say that was a stolen blank passport.
Ah, we thought it might be. We got a note from Paris. He must have felt safe enough to send word through. He's on his way to Rome now on a tourist bus.
Will you be watching for him when he gets there?
He's already there. And we won't be watching for him. We can't. The whole purpose of this operation is that he goes down the line alone.
I suppose so. Wouldn't fancy it much myself.
That's why we're such an exclusive organization, Inspector. Nobody fancies it much.
Got a few rules aboard this ship, matey. Get to know them and they'll save you grief. First, nobody drinks aboard except me. Second, you work hard and you get paid at the end of the trip. Third, everyone puts their money and valuables in my safe. What do you carry?
£2 sterling, nothing much.
That'll look sweet.
Yeah, he got good fat wallet. Rich man.
What the hell are you at, searching my gear?
Told me a lie, matey. That's a bad way to start on my ship.
Give me that. My money, my personal papers, everything's in there.
You'll get it back in Singapore. Do we have to check, or can you tell me how much is in here?
£860.
I'll trust you.
Millionaire.
Now hop it.
Captain, I'm going to hold you personally responsible for
I said hop it! Get him working. Make him sweat.
Get on with it. What do you think this is? Holiday?
Get him unloading.
Aye, Captain.
I want the forward hatch cleared first. The Hong Kong consignment goes in there.
We go ashore later?
Plenty of time for what you got in mind, Swede. And plenty of money for it, too. Come in.
Captain, before I go ashore, can I collect my money and wages?
I got news for you, matey. There aren't any wages.
Like that, is it?
You worked your passage, that's all.
All right, then my wallet.
What wallet?
With my stuff in it, all my money and papers. You know perfectly well what I'm talking about.
He says we got some money this Swede. I never heard of it. Have you, Captain?
Now look here, you hand that over,
You'll what, matey?
I'll go to the police.
You should do that. In fact, Swede and I'll go with you. Let's take him to the police.
Yeah, I hear him talking in his sleep at night, Captain. Something about money in London.
I don't think he's an Australian seaman at all. Seems to me we took him aboard in good faith, and we've got a criminal on our hands, Swede.
Yeah. Come on, mister. We go for a walk downtown.
You're a pair of thieving jackals.
And what are you, matey? A dirty swindler on the run. You can't go to the police, and you know it. Now get out of here.
Well, give me my passport. I've got to have that.
My trouble is, I'm big-hearted. Here.
I hope you've had your fun. I hope it makes you feel good.
It's a tough town, Singapore, without money. Try number 24 Yangon Street. You might get help there. Go with him, Swede. What do you want?
Are you English?
It is. What do you want?
I think I'm expected.
Your name?
Grayson.
Your passport. Sorry, man. Can't be too careful. Have a good trip, man. Oh, by the way, my name's Rockworth. Most people call me Rocky. Not altogether prepossessing, is it? Still, temporary quarters. You'll be in the private clinic in a day or two.
Clinic?
Offered you a plastic surgery. New face, new future. It'll all have been worthwhile, won't it?
Yeah.
Come on, I'll show you your quarters. They're a horrible lot, aren't they? Still, I get a straight start out of them now and then. Reverse. That's it. Oh, by the way, don't worry. They don't speak our lingo.
Look, supposing I told you I have no intention of staying here tonight.
I'd say you've got no choice, old man.
Well, I'll find someplace else and I'll come back tomorrow.
They all say that, but you've got no money, have you?
That's another thing. Your stinking freighter captain.
Took your money, of course, as he always does. Oh, he's a rock no row. We can't control him at all.
That and now this.
Not so good after what you've been used to. But it's this or this street, old man. And it's perishing cold at night. Besides, there's the police. Altogether very unpleasant. I'll settle down if I were you. Once you're asleep, you won't even notice them.
Well, thanks for that thought.
See you in the morning, hmm? Happy dreams.
Sleep well, man?
I slept for a while.
The paper says it's going to rain in London. It's 3 weeks old, but I expect it's still pouring. I do like a bit of home news once in a while.
When am I getting out of here?
Oh, man, as fast as we can manage.
I've got no money, you realize that?
Oh, you won't need it. We'll get our meals sent in from the cafe next door.
How long is this going to go on?
Oh, not very long, if you're smart. In a week or so, you'll have a new face, new clothes, an air ticket to Australia, and a brand new existence.
A week or so?
Well, it all depends on you. Some people don't trust us, and it complicates the whole routine. Lack of trust is a terrible thing, Owen.
What do you want?
The key of your safety deposit box in London, and a letter to Miss Wilson giving her power of attorney.
You think I'm a fool?
Yes, sir, ma'am, as a matter of fact, I do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in this mess, would you? Now you are. The only thing you can do is to trust us and do as you're told.
You don't get the key.
Then how can we arrange regular monthly payments to your wife? How can we pay the plastic surgeon, who is very expensive? Or buy your plane ticket? Or see that you land in Australia with sufficient money? How can we do these things, Oman?
You've already got 5,000 pounds.
That's chicken feed.
The only security I have left is the money in London. And I'm hanging on to it.
That's a pity. Oh, well. Go ahead. That's right. Those poor devils have to sleep in the street tonight because you're being troublesome. That'll cost me money, which you'll have to pay in due course.
What's this about, Rockwood?
The windows are high up and barred, old man. Sometimes our clients need a dose of the old solitary just to bring them to their senses. Now, I could shoot you and take the key, then we have no more trouble. Or you could give it to me. Now, which is it? It'll be a damn messy business. I'd have to explain to the police that I found out that you were a swindler on the run. Come on, don't be a damn fool. I'd as soon as shoot you as do it the other way. Thank you. I'll make out a letter and you'll sign it.
The key arrived with a letter giving power of attorney.
Well, that takes care of Mr. Stamp. Now, you can write to Rockworth, tell him to go ahead with the plastic surgery, then tell him to get him a job on a ship going to Australia, or else turn him loose in Singapore.
That's not quite the end of it. There was only 7,000 in the box.
7? There should have been 10 times that much.
It looks as though he's smarter than the others.
Oh, yes. Yes, I think perhaps I'd better go out there and deal with this myself.
Do you want me to come with you?
No, you stay here. Go into his background more thoroughly than we have done. Find out all you can about him.
I don't know that you should go. It's dangerous, the fact he can identify you.
Well, that'll be taken care of. I've always been willing to do one thing for them, give them their change of face and turn them out, even if we left them with nothing. Well, this one's going to have to end differently.
Chap?
You've done it this time, my man, haven't you?
You can leave us alone now, Rockworth.
What are you doing here?
He's an odd sort, Rockworth, isn't he? He's expatriate types. They go to seed out here.
So you're behind all this.
Well, it's just said I saw your need and made certain arrangements. But, you know, for all the trouble I've gone to on your behalf, you've let us down very badly.
In what way?
Well, let's dispense with all this nonsense, shall we? The safety deposit box in London held £7,000. You told me you'd saved nearly 80,000.
You think I'd pull all that money in one bank, Walt?
Then where is the rest of it?
I think that's my business.
There are two alternatives. Either you've outsmarted us and put the bulk of the money somewhere else, or you're not who you claim to be, in which case, who are you?
Your organization has already got 7,000 from me. And another 7,000 in London.
Sir.
So 14,000 is more than enough to pay for what you promised.
But we want to give you what you were promised. Your new feature's a good start in another country. Money for your wife. My dear chap, we've done it for so many people. Most of them are in Australia now, living entirely new lives, thoroughly prosperous.
Do you expect me to believe that after you got possession of all their money, they get some of it back?
And then what do you think happened?
Well, I've seen most of what happens. I think I know the rest.
Tell me.
Well, I've felt it. Ever since they put those cheap clothes on me in London. Oh, you got me out of England, but you made me into a second-rate tourist. You got me out of Italy, but you forced me to sweat my guts out aboard a freighter. And now here I am in a stinking doss house. And I'm not fool enough to still believe that you'll keep your promises. The next step is down. And after you get all my money, the next step is to turn me out penniless and broken to the wide world.
Well, that's an interesting theory.
Well, it's like a confidence trick. The victim keeps hoping against hope that everything will be all right. Even when everything looks ridiculous, he keeps believing that you'll keep your promises.
I can see you've been doing a lot of thinking.
Well, I've had time. Stuck here for 3 days, aboard that ship for weeks. You're trying to turn me into a derelict.
I'm not trying, Mr. Stamp. It's done. If I could open that door now, and where would you go, eh? Not to the police, not to an hotel, because you haven't got any money. Now, where would you go?
It is done. Except for a certain amount of money in London, which you want.
Which I shall get. And then you can go out into the street and down to the waterfront, and if you're lucky, you'll get a berth on a ship going somewhere, and if you're not, you'll sleep in the gutter. I've never done it, but I'm told the wind from the harbor cuts like a knife, and the stray dogs come prowling for warmth, and after you've moved 3 or 4 times, you just simply give up and lie there with them.
Why, Chapman? You can make a fortune out of this game without rubbing people into the dirt.
You're not people, you're vultures who prey on others. Now, I want to know, Stan, where is the rest of that money?
So you can give it back to my victims? Don't make me laugh.
Once we've got the rest of the money, we'll turn you out, free.
Even that's a lie. Once you've got the rest of the money, there's no reason to keep me alive.
That's absurd. There'd be no point in killing you. But you do realize if you hold out for too long, I shall cut my losses.
Do you think you'll get away with it?
Why not? They pick corpses out of the harbor every day.
Care for one of the local brown over there?
No, thank you. I prefer one of my own.
What are we going to do about that chap?
I want to send a cable to Julia in London. I've got to find out more about him, and quickly.
Good morning. I wonder if I can make an appointment as soon as possible. Yes. I want you to identify a photograph from your files. I'm willing to pay for it, of course. Yes. Oh, I could be there in half an hour. Thank you.
I got your message. Anything from Craig?
No, nothing.
Ah, you're worried, aren't you?
Oh, damn it, it's been weeks, not a word.
Well, I'll see if I can get a line on Chapman's whereabouts.
He must be our lead. Everything started after Craig made his approach to Chapman. But what have you got on him, apart from the fact that he's a successful lawyer and a couple of his clients disappeared?
Well, I turned up something the other day. He wasn't always so successful.
Huh?
He had an important client when he was a young lawyer, a wealthy financier. Chapman put up bail for him, all the money he had. The client skipped the country, never turned up again. And Chapman lost his bond. Put him in the bankruptcy court. He was lucky not to be struck off the rolls.
Wealthy financier skips from here with money, turns up derelict in Could be it, Monroe.
Yes, I wondered. But theories and motives aren't proof. Only Craig can tell us the answer.
Look, old son, why don't you cooperate? It'd make things so much easier all round. Chapman's gone down to the airport to meet his girlfriend. They've got something on you.
Then that must mean they know who I am.
What's that supposed to mean, old man?
I'm a policeman.
That's a new one.
Isn't it?
Anything to get off the hook, eh?
Would that get me off the hook, Rocky?
A policeman. Well, I've heard everything now. You're being funny.
I'm not supposed to reveal my true identity unless I think it would save my life. I think it might.
I'm not very amused.
You know what killing a copper means, Rocky? Old man? It means that this city gets turned over until they find the killer. It means they grab Chapman when he lands in London because they've been watching him for a while. Oh, he'll deny it, of course. He'll say that you did it because it was your hand on the trigger. He might save his neck, Rocky, but you'll swing.
Shut up.
They'll take you back to London to hang you, Rocky. Oh, you'll be able to read up-to-date papers, but it'll be your name in the headline. Then one rainy morning, they'll take
Shut up, you're a liar.
Then listen to me. Put it to the test. Stay quiet when Chapman gets back. See what happens.
I ought to put a bullet through you right now.
You're reverting to type, Rocky. That public school manner doesn't sit on you too well.
Turn out, I'll kill you.
You would, too.
I don't believe you're a copper. I don't believe a word of it. You're just trying to save your lousy hide.
Would that save it?
If it were true... Maybe. But it's not true.
All right, Rocky. But stay quiet when Chapman gets back. If I'm a policeman, he'll have to have me killed anyway. And you'll be the poor clot who's told to do it.
Well, you see. Too bad about your dinner. You just had to go hungry. I spilled his food.
How?
I think I just spilled it. I tripped.
Yeah, well, unlock the door. You've got your gun with you?
Why?
Oh, we don't want to take any chances, do we?
Miss Wilson.
Get up.
Are we going someplace? I'll be glad to get out of here.
The photograph, Julia. Thank you. Would you care to identify this, Mr. Stamp?
Where'd you get this?
You know quite well where I got it, from your flat.
Who is the woman?
My wife.
And the child?
Mine.
You can stop lying. I checked with the photographer.
Did you know?
The photograph is of a Mrs. Lambert and her child. I checked at their home. There's a Mr. Lambert, too.
She also checked more carefully. The firm he was supposed to run in Manchester doesn't exist.
Well, the lady's husband is a friend of mine. I borrowed the photo. Didn't think he'd be quite so thorough.
But who is he? It doesn't matter who he is anymore. He won't be able to report back what he's found out.
Even if they traced him to Rome, they must have lost him there.
Can you be sure of that?
But who is he?
They're trying to tell you I'm a copper, Rockworth.
He was brought off the ship by Swede as usual. He had no chance to contact anyone. Even if he was planted on us, they can't have any idea where he is now.
Try and convince yourself of that, Chapman.
He's bluffing. Kill him, Rocky.
Wait a minute. Hadn't you better think a little before? If I was planted on you, they had to know about you, Chapman. They'll pick you up when you land in London.
We're not going back to London.
We're making use of our own organization, Mr. Stamp, or whatever your real name is.
And, Rocky. Do you leave him here in this place? Waiting for the police to find my body and start hunting for the killer?
We'll look after Rocky. He needn't fear.
Or you could leave him in this room. 2 bodies. The police might not check any further.
Ignore him, Rocky. Is he a policeman?
Of course he is.
Then you want me to kill him? I'm telling you to kill him.
You do it, Mr. Chapman.
Rocky, don't be a fool. Go on, get it
No
over.
one likes this sort of thing, Rocky, but we must get rid of him.
I'll take the gun, Rocky.
Rocky, don't be a fool. The 3 of us are getting out of here together.
Rocky, there's a fortune in my hotel. We're sharing it.
Look, you. I want to guarantee that there will be no charges brought against me.
I can't do that.
You'll have to. Or I give them the gun.
Then they'll kill us both. Even if they didn't plan it before, they will now. Rocky, I can't get you off. But I can promise I'll testify that you saved my life.
Rocky, don't be a fool!
gone this far, Rocky. Now call the police. You won't find my name in there yet.
Oh, good. It's all very well for you, gallivanting around the world while we're stuck in this office.
Well, next time a job like that comes along, you can do the traveling. I'd be glad to stay at home.
You did a nice job. You picked them up all down the line. I'm sorry you didn't get to Bondi Beach, but the sooner you finish your report, the sooner you can get off on leave.
Report?
You might, try a cruise.
Well, I might try a week at home in bed. I've had enough of the sea for the moment. I'm sure you understand.
If you want me, I'll be at Reynolds.